Good evening, everyone. Oh, we have attendee in the waiting room. Okay. Hi, Jen. Good evening. My name is Nicole He, Associate Engineer and Project Manager for the Walsh Avenue, Martin Avenue Class 4 Bikeway Planning Study. Thank you for being here tonight with us. This is our Phase 3 community workshop for corridor analysis and design concept preference for this bikeway study. This project is funded by 2016 Measure B, and we are going to record the meeting tonight. And even if you have to leave during the meeting, don't worry, we will be recording this and post the PowerPoint slides and the recording on our project website. With that, I'll pass it over to Devyani, our consultant, TJKM, to go over the presentation slides.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I will be presenting the Walsh and Martin Avenue Bikeway Study Phase 3 presentation. With me from TJKM, I'm Devyani Parvatri, the Assistant Transportation Planner working on the project. We have Rutha Jariwala, who's the Project Manager joining us today, and Pravina Samaleti, who's the Project Engineer on this project. Nicole, do you want to introduce the city staff?
Yeah, sure. Also online with me tonight is Steve Chan, our transportation manager from the city of Santa Clara. If you have any questions at the end, we'll address them, and also looking forward to hear your comments about the bikeway.
Going over the agenda, we just had a round of introductions. We'll be following with the project schedule and the study area. We've done several rounds of outreach for this project, so we will be updating you all on that. We'll be going over the design concepts and alternatives. We've also done the corridor analysis for this project, which includes collision analysis, parking analysis, and traffic analysis. And we will let you know how to get involved. The schedule for this project, we started in the winter of 2023. We've had 3 BPAC meetings so far and 2 community meetings. This is the 3rd community meeting. This will follow a 4th BPAC meeting and before the council adoption. The study area today. The project area spans on Walsh Avenue between Bowers Avenue and Lafayette Street, and on Martin Avenue between Lafayette Street and De La Cruz Boulevard. The existing conditions. Walsh Avenue is a 1.7-mile east-west minor arterial. It's a 4-lane roadway, and the surrounding land use is predominantly office buildings and industrial parks. There is a Class 2 bicycle facility between Bowers Avenue and San Thomas Expressway currently. And there is an ACE VTA shuttle that runs on Walsh Avenue as well. On-street parking is available on both sides between Martin Avenue and Lafayette Street. Martin Avenue, on the other hand, is a 0.5-mile east-west collector. It's also a 4-lane roadway. The surrounding land use is industrial and has parking on both sides. The outreach efforts so far to publicize the projects, we have put up a lot of yard signs along the corridor. We've also mailed out postcards inviting the public for community meetings. At pop-up events, we've handed out comment cards so that we can get feedback from the community. We've also set up a phone number to receive any voice messages on concerns along the corridor. We also have an email address set up to receive any comments and feedback based on the project. Other outreach includes a project website on the city website. We also had a map input platform where the community could drop in points and let us know the areas of concern and report their concerns. We had set up a stall at the Bike to Work Day, and we were also at the Christmas tree lighting event and the Art and Wine Festival, where we got a lot of input on the different concepts that we had suggested in the community survey too. The activities completed till date. We had 3 phases, 3 rounds of community engagement, which included postcards, workshops, online surveys, and pop-up events, and also a BPAC meeting in each round. For the phase 2, we also presented to the Youth Commission, Senior Advisory Commission, Parks and Rec Commission as well. We had our 3rd BPAC meeting on Monday. Some of the findings from our survey too. We received 63 responses, out of which 57% of the respondents live or work along Walsh Avenue. 38% of the respondents live and work on Martin Avenue. The results were 87% of the respondents supported the 4-lane no parking concept. 71% of the respondents supported 2 lanes, center turn lane, parking on both sides concept. And 61% of the respondents supported the 4 lanes, remove parking on one side concept. We also asked the community what they liked about the concepts, and they said that they liked the proposed protected facility, the buffered spaces, and wider bicycle lanes. Some of their concerns included the type of barriers that were going to be used, the traffic impacts of lane removal and the intersection treatments, and also parking visibility. Going over the design concepts and alternatives, we divided the study area into 5 sections. The first section is between Bowers Avenue and the 80 to 64 feet transition. The second section is between the 80 to 64 feet transition and the bridge section. Section 3 is the bridge section itself. Section 4 is between Martin Avenue and Lafayette Street. And the 5th section is on Martin Avenue, which spans from Lafayette Street to Dela Cruz Boulevard. Going over the Walsh Avenue sections to start. First, we will go over the existing conditions and then move into the concepts. The no build or the existing conditions at section 1 are, it's a 4-lane roadway with a center turn lane and no parking on either sides. There is a 7 feet wide bicycle lane. Section 2, which is between the transition and the bridge section, is a 4-lane roadway with a center turn lane and no parking on either sides. There's a 6 feet wide class 2 bicycle facility along this stretch. Section 3, it's the bridge section. It's a 4-lane roadway with a center turn lane and no parking on either sides. The outermost lane is a shadow, which means the bike and the cars share the lane. Section 4 is a 4-lane roadway with parking on both sides. Moving on to the concepts, our first concept for Walsh Avenue is a 4-lane roadway with no parking on either sides. We have a class 4 bicycle lane, which is 7 feet wide with a 3 feet wide buffer. Concept B is a 4-lane roadway with removing parking on one side between Martin Avenue and Lafayette Street. This is the stretch. So for the rest of the stretch, which does not include parking, there is no parking at that stretch. Concept C is a 2-lane roadway with a center turn lane and parking on both sides from Martin Avenue to Lafayette Street. For the rest of the stretch where there's no parking, the section below is what would be implemented. The bike lane will be a little wider and the travel lanes will be wider as well. Moving on to Martin Avenue, it's the section 5. The existing conditions is a 4-lane roadway with parking on both sides. Concept D, which is the first section for Martin Avenue, is a 4-lane roadway with no parking on either sides and a class 4 bicycle lane. It's a 7 feet wide bicycle lane with a 3 feet wide buffer. Section E is a 4-lane roadway with no parking on one side. And class 4 bicycle lane on either sides, which is 5 feet wide bike lane and a 2 feet wide buffer. Section F is the third alternative for Martin Avenue, is a 2-lane roadway with center turn lane, parking on both sides. And it incorporates a class 4 bicycle lane on both the sides. It's a 5 feet wide bike lane with a 3 feet wide buffer. As part of the analysis, we presented collision analysis in our previous community meeting. Based on the implementations and the new proposed concepts, there will be some safety improvements along the corridor, and that would reduce the collisions. So estimating the reduced collisions along the corridor, when we studied the collision data between 2018 and 2022, and there were 41 vehicular collisions along the corridor and 1 bike collision. As you can see in this table, with the implementation of concept A, B, or C with no parking, there is a estimated reduction of 27 collisions along the corridors. And when concept C, which is parking protected separated bike lane, is implemented, there would be a reduction of 29 collisions along the corridor. In the case of Martin Avenue, there were 16 reported collisions between 2018 and 2022, and there wasn't any bike collision along the corridor. With the implementation of concept D, E, or F, there will be a reduction in collision along the corridor by estimated reduction in collisions along the corridor by 10. Going over the parking analysis, we did present our parking occupancy analysis in our previous meeting. As we know, there are 332 on-street parking spaces along the corridor, 150 of which are on Walsh Avenue and 125 spaces on Martin Avenue. The 15 spaces on the surrounding streets. Based on one of our alternatives, we have proposed removing parking on one side. So we have analyzed 2 scenarios where the parking is removed on the north or the south side. This diagram shows parking availability. So you can see that the parking east, the stretch east of Scott Boulevard is our only concern area where the parking availability is less than 15%. But as you can see, the surrounding streets do not have a high occupancy and any overflow could be accommodated over there. The same case if the parking is from the south side is moved to the north side. The pinch point is east of Scott Boulevard, and besides that, the other areas have sufficient parking and can accommodate any overflow. This parking utilization table shows us that if Walsh, north side of Walsh Avenue parking is being removed, then the total estimated south side occupancy would be 67%. And if Walsh Avenue south side parking is removed, the total estimated north side occupancy would be 84%, which is still lower than our threshold, which is considered 85% in parking studies. Martin Avenue, if the north side parking is removed, the south side parking would have 45% occupancy. And if the south side parking is removed, the parking on the north side would be 53%. Traffic analysis. I would like to pass on the control to Pravina, who will be updating us with the traffic analysis section. Pravina, you're muted.
Sorry. Thanks, Devyani. Good evening, everyone. My name is Pravina Samaleti. project engineer for this project. Today, I'm going to present the traffic analysis results for this project to the community. Next slide. The traffic analysis was completed at all the selected study intersections throughout the project area, and the intersections are evaluated using the City of Santa Clara Transportation Analysis Policy and the guidelines. This uses the level of service that ranges from level of service A to level of service F. Level of service D or better is the standard for the roadways which are located within the City of Santa Clara. Level of service E or better is the standard for the county facilities, that is county intersections and the roadway facilities. We also conducted the traffic counts in the month of April 2023 and adjusted the traffic counts to better represent the pre-COVID traffic volumes. Next slide. Total of 23 study intersections were analyzed for this project. 7 intersections on Walsh Avenue, 3 on Martin, 5 on Central Expressway, 2 on Reid Street, and 6 on Monroe Street, as shown in the figure. As I have already mentioned, we have analyzed a total of 23 intersections for the existing no build concept A, B, D, and concept E. And then the concept C, that is a lane removal. As already Devyani discussed, there is a lane removal for on Walsh Avenue and the Martin Avenue with the bike facilities. That is a concept C and the concept F. For the existing no build and concepts A, B, D, and E during the AM peak, out of 23 intersections, 21 intersections meet the standards and 2 intersections do not meet the standards. In the PM peak, there were only 20 intersections meet the standards and 3 intersections do not meet the standards. We have also looked at the midday peak as well as the weekend, that is a Saturday peak. For these two peaks, all the intersections, 23 intersections, meet the standards and they are continued to operate at the acceptable level of service with the lane removal. Next slide. This is the graphical representation of the level of service results for the existing. There is a no build scenario and the concept A, concept B, concept D, and E for the weekday AM peak hour and the PM peak hour. As I have already mentioned that 2 intersections during the AM peak, that is 1 intersection along Central Expressway and 1 more intersection along Monroe Street, and 3 intersections during the PM peak hour, that is all situated along the Walsh Avenue. Next, this is the with the lane removal, that is a concept C and the concept F. Based on the level of service analysis results, as we can see in the figure, 4 intersections during the AM peak hour, that is 1 intersection along Central Expressway and 3 intersections along Monroe Street, do not operate the acceptable level of service. When you see for the during the PM peak hour, only 2 intersections along Walsh Avenue do not meet the standards. We have also conducted the travel time study for the Walsh Avenue study corridor and the Martin Avenue study corridor. For the Walsh Avenue study corridor, that is between the Bowers Avenue and the Lafayette Street. During the AM peak, Walsh Avenue westbound for the existing no build and concept A and concept B, the total travel time is 5 minutes 51 seconds. When we go with the lane removal on that Walsh Avenue corridor, the travel time is going to increase to 7 minutes 53 seconds. That means that there is an increase in travel time of 35% during the AM peak. When you look at the PM peak, 17% increase in travel time. For the Walsh Avenue eastbound, during the AM peak, there is an increase of 10%, and the PM peak, there is an increase of total travel time by 26%. That is the peak direction. We have also looked at the weekday, midday, and the Saturday peak periods, but as seen in the table, we are just seeing small percentage increase in total travel time for these two peak periods. As I said, we have also looked at the travel time along the Martin Avenue, that is a segment between the Lafayette Street and the De La Cruz Boulevard. For the existing no build and the concept D and E, For the Martin Avenue westbound during the AM peak, there is an increase of total travel time by 9%, and in the PM peak, it's 6%. When you look at the eastbound Martin Avenue during the AM peak, 7% increase in total travel time, and the PM peak 6% increase in total travel time. As I said, during the weekday midday and the Saturday peak periods, there is an increase of less than half minute during that periods. Next, I'm going to hand it over to Devyani for the next few slides. Thank you.
Thank you, Pravina. On ways to stay connected, we have a project website set up, right, which regularly gets updated on the community meeting. A recording of this would be available on the website as well. You can send us an email to walshmartinbikeplan@tjkm.com. You could call us and leave us a message on this number. Please do attend any future meetings. You can scan this QR code and take our final survey to let us know your preferred alternatives. In this presentation, we've shown you quite a lot of information. So if you want to go through it and take the survey and let us know your preferred alternative, it would be great. The survey closes on February 25th. So please do attend the meetings and take the survey. With that, we open for any questions.
So there is a raise hand function at the Zoom meeting. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to speak up or leave us a comment or question in the chat box. Again, I think some of the attendees joined us during the middle of the meetings. So if you want us to go back to any of the slides, let us know. We can walk through the concepts again if you're interested in any of those and let us know what you would like to know more in detail. So feel free to raise your hand or leave us a question, comment, or take the final survey. Yeah. Okay, I see Jim's hand is up. Can you unmute
Yeah,
Jim?
I wondered what was driving this particular section. I live pretty close to this area. I don't see many bikes in this area. I know it's close to NVIDIA, but I see Monroe is way more heavily trafficked.
Yeah, I can answer this question, and I'll start and see if our transportation planner can add in if he has more comments. So this project, Jim, is identified as a priority project in city's bicycle master plan, which was updated back in 2019. So we do recognize that this is a high-speed roadway. You know, people do travel pretty quick, very fast on Walsh Avenue and Martin Avenue. So in order to add more bike facilities and promote cycling throughout the city, back then when we developed the master plan, the plan recommended a protected, separated bikeway facility along those two corridors. And that's why right now city is studying to see how we can add those protected bicycle facilities along those two corridors. Again, we definitely want a separated bikeway because we see that vehicles are speeding on those corridors. And that's kind of the key reason that's driving this project. In addition, this project did receive a grant from BTA 2016 Measure B program. And that's why we are doing this study right now. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see any other hands raised. Maybe Devyani, you can go through the survey for folks.
Okay.
Nicole, there is a question on the chat.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
You want me to read it?
Oh, I see. So we have Martin Delson Road. Can you extend the study from the west end of Walsh Avenue to the other side of Bowers on Kiefer to the city line? So right now, our study limits are what we're showing, which is from Bowers Avenue all the way to
Martin.
Martin. Sorry,
Sorry,
to Lafayette
Lafayette.
Street. We are still looking at potential new facilities on the other side, but that's not part of this project study right now. And then we do have specific requirements from the grant, and so we have to stick with our original study limits to comply with the grant funding. Okay, I think. Is there any other question?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. So if you scan the QR code, or the city has also posted this the link to the survey on their website, you would reach the survey, and you can find the concepts if you click these links. You can also find the details like email, website link, and stuff. First, we have a couple of questions regarding your relation with particular corridors, if you work there, if you travel, and how often you use it, and how you heard about this project. We have the preferred concept section, where you could pick if you'd like the existing conditions for the first section, that's the 80 feet section between Bowers Avenue and the 80 to 64 feet transition. Here, you can either pick the existing section or the proposed section. Moving forward to sections 2, 3, and 4, we have you could pick your preferred choices. Please note that you have to pick a first choice. It's okay if you don't pick second, third, or fourth choice. We would just consider that you do not support it, but the first choice would be a must. This is for Walsh Avenue, and you can see all the concepts listed here. And this would be for the Martin Avenue. Same thing, you'll have to pick your first choice. The second, third, and fourth choice is not mandatory. It would just be considered do not support. And if you want to stay connected and receive updates, you can leave us your email ID and we will be sure to email you any updates. Thank you so much for joining. Nicole, did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to the survey, but this just a reminder, the survey will close on February 25th. We give about a month for you to take your time to fill out the survey. We appreciate your time being with us here tonight. We went through a lot of the concepts and materials. They will be posted online for review later. And you are always welcome to connect with us through email or call us or send us a message and fill out the survey. So thank you for being here tonight. Yeah. And feel free to raise hand if you have more questions, comments about the concepts. Anything you want us to go back and explain? Oh, I see. We have A's hand raised. Can you? Hi. Yes.
Hi, yeah. So I have a question. Is there like an expected timeline for the implementation of any of these plans, or is it purely like a feasibility study at this point?
That's a good question. So right now, yes, as you said, this is a very high level planning study. And depending on what concept the city council is moving forward with, staff have to identify the funding and look at the general construction timeline. But for now, we only have funding for this planning study. Depending on future funding availability and what concept we move forward with, that timeline will be to be determined at this phase.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for that question. And we do also post our frequently asked questions on our project website. So if you're interested to know more what other people's questions are, what their concerns are, feel free to check out our project webpage. Maybe Davian, you can pull the last slide of your PowerPoint again.
Mhm.
With the QR code. Yeah, so here are the ways to stay involved. We do have more public meetings coming up. And those will be posted on city's website too. And if you want to be added to the subscriber list, you can always send us an email listed here so we can add you to the list and notify you of any new updates or events. If there are no more questions or comments, we're gonna stick around for maybe a few more minutes, but feel free to adjourn if you, but again, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight and listen in on our presentation and the Bikeway study.